Hey guys and gals, what's up? It's -0, but how are you all doing? I'm doing great. And I bet you're probably wondering what that is behind me. That is a large red ship. And this is a space engineer's first, as far as I know. It is the Smart Grinder. Smart Grinder stands for Sophisticated Mobile Autonomous Robotic Teardown Grinder. And that's a big fancy way of saying it can think for itself. It has AI. Technically it's not AI because it's not smart enough. It's more or less a sophisticated subroutine that will allow it to seek out and destroy a ship. Now, normally you would put a top sensor, a bottom sensor, left and right sensors, thrust, stop thrust, and a grinder sensor, and it would just go forward, go into the ship, and just keep going. Or you'd have to control it manually. And then you could take and put a sensor on it so that it would stop when it got done with the going through the ship. But you still have to turn it around. This alleviates that problem. This has a setup of 11 command blocks, 7 of which are used with 4 for expansion. And those work. Make sure that's right. Yes. Those work like this. Let's go in here. Turn that off. Okay. So normally when you launch this thing off, oh, that looks cool. It looks white there. Yeah, it does. It looks white with red things. I'm talking about this block here. I got off track. I'm sorry. I'm droning on. But it has a special sensor down here that's always on. These will find the ship and take it toward it. When this gets within 5 meters of a ship, it activates special AI block number 7. Number 7 turns off the sensors and activates 1. Block number 1 turns off the sensor array, which is all the gyros. Turns on the rear thruster, turns on the grinder, switches on timer block 2, which after 3 seconds turns off the thruster, yaws it right, and switches timer block 3. I don't know why these are out of order. They were in order when I built it. It's like they switched. But alpha game, so yeah. So after 1 second, timer block 3 turns off the gyro, turns on the thruster, turns on timer block 4. After 3 seconds, that turns off the thrusters, turns on the gyro, goes to 5. 5, after 1 second, turns off both the gyro and the thruster, goes to 6. After 3 seconds, that turns on the entire sensor array and switches over to back to 1 to repeat the loop. And that's complicated. Excuse me again. So complicated that I built it, and I've spent the last 2 hours trying to get my head around it so I could explain it. But it does work. And how does it work? It works by finding the ship using normal sensor detection. If there's one in front of it, move forward. If it's to the right, turn right, yada yada yada. And once this special block gets within, it activates the subroutine. And if you couldn't figure it out from the explanation, which you probably couldn't, it's really complicated, and I suck at explaining things. What that subroutine does is once you get up to the ship, it turns on your jets and turns you right, looks for a ship, turns that way, looks for a ship, turns that way, looks for a ship, and turns that way, looks for a ship. And it turns the sensor block on at a point or two during that, so that if the sensor block detects a ship, it cancels out the subroutine and it goes and grinds it. That's really all there is to it, but it works beautifully. So let's have a look at it. Yep, there it is. Turn that on. It looks cool. So let's hop in that, lock it. Let's rotate it around. Make sure to have your inertial dampeners on when using this. If you turn them off, you end up not only with a lost ship, but a ruined recording. Let's angle it up just a little bit. or raise it up, so rather. Now we're going to turn that off. That's stuck, so we're going to toggle this block. Let's turn to switch lock. That fixed it. Now, to start this thing up, we use a few of these buttons. Let me explain them real quick. The white button is the same color as the remote control, and that's what it activates. The red button is the same color as the sensors. See the bar? That's what it activates, turns them on and off. The blue button turns on the thrusters, because, you know, blue is the blue color. And yellow handles that thing, the connector. And green toggles on these. So to get this thing going, you need to turn on thruster, sensors, and then the green one. So thrusters, sensors, and that. And once it finds that, you're going to see one of these starts blinking. That's number 7. It's going to run for about whatever few seconds I had it set to. I can't remember now. And it activates 1. Now, number 1 will run, and then it'll activate 2. And it'll turn, looking for more. And it'll turn again, looking for more. Looking for more ship to destroy. And it'll constantly do this. At the end of its cycle, it'll turn on the sensors, so if it's off and it's going in the wrong direction, they'll turn on and look for ship. And it'll repeat this process over and over and over until it's got no more ship. It's not 100% fail-proof. Some things could happen. But I've designed it in such a way that this shouldn't happen. Enough to where you can more or less let it run while you're working on another project. And watch the drills on that thing. Well, I'm not in survival, so it doesn't matter. Which, by the way, I actually built this in survival, in my survival world. But I liked it so much, I had to bring it over here into creative and share it with you guys. There will be a workshop link in the download. A workshop link in the download, yeah. There'll be a workshop download link in the description. Let's see if it, it's got its way out. There we go. It's just going to keep grinding on this thing. It's not perfect because we don't have programmable blocks yet, but a little bit of C# and this thing will be golden. But how many times am I going to say but? As far as I know, this is the only drone that's smart like this on here. And if there is another one, please send me a link because I want to see how it compares to mine, see if it's how better it is. It'd probably be better. But if not, you know, maybe I've created something new that you all can enjoy. And that's pretty much it. Until next time, this is Negative Zero signing off. I'll see you later.